The Final Destination movie series is among the latest to get a reboot, and the upcoming 6th movie can finally explain the franchise's biggest mystery thanks to one important change. Back in 2000, the horror genre was going through a peak in slasher stories, and Final Destination arrived to add extra chaos to this branch. Directed by James Wong, Final Destination introduces the audience to Alex Browning, Devon Sawa, who has a vivid vision of the plane he's boarding exploding. Alex, a teacher, and some of his friends and classmates leave the plane, which minutes later explodes just like in his vision. Because Alex and the rest cheated death, they begin to die in bizarre circumstances, one by one in the order they were meant to die on the plane. The success of Final Destination led to a franchise with a total of 5 movies and a 6th one in development, with the rest of the movies following the same formula as the first one. However, the upcoming reboot, Final Destination, Bloodlines, is doing things slightly differently, and thanks to this, it can finally solve the franchise's biggest mystery without losing the saga's essence. Final Destination, Bloodlines will focus on first responders. Final Destination 6 is taking a different approach. Final Destination 5's main characters talking to Tony Todd's William Bloodworth. The Final Destination movies don't follow a continuity, instead just being set in the same universe. However, Final Destination 5 reveals at the end that it's a prequel, and the ending makes way for the plane explosion at the beginning of the first movie. Final Destination, Bloodlines, then, isn't a direct sequel to either movie in the saga, but it will have a different approach than the one seen in the previous movies and that the audience now knows a bit too well. What's known about Final Destination, Bloodline so far is that it will be set in the world of first responders, featuring firefighters, EMTs, and police officers. Final Destination, Bloodlines also brings back Tony Todd's William Bloodworth, the only character from the previous movies to return, and the movie is said to explore his backstory. The new Final Destination movie has also been said to differ from the franchise's formula, which, taking into account the presence of first responders, might mean that, instead of following the victims of death's plan, Bloodlines will focus on those attending to the bizarre deaths. Final Destination has never explained the mystery of the visions. Final Destination's biggest mystery is all about the visions. In every Final Destination movie, the main character has a vivid vision of the catastrophic and deadly event that kicks off the movie. The Final Destination formula is that, after the vision, the character manages to save some of the people meant to die, both people close to them and strangers, but death doesn't like to be cheated, so they die one by one in mysterious and horrifying ways. However, none of the Final Destination movies have explained why these visions happen and why these characters get them, as there are no signs of them ever having visions before. Of course, this has made way for different theories on why the visions happen and whether they happen at random or whether these characters had something special that turned them into targets. One of them suggests that the visions in the Final Destination movies are part of Death's design, and it gives them to these characters to give them and others a chance to escape. Also, Death can later chase them down and, in the process, claim the lives of others who have the bad luck of being near them. Letting them go also means that Death has to come up with a new plan to take their lives, through which it also kills more people. In short, the theory suggests Death loves chaos and is the source of the visions. Also, it can claim more lives than the original accident alone would. Whether this or any other theory is correct or not, the truth is that Final Destination, Bloodlines focusing on first responders is the way to solve the franchise's mystery about the visions. How Final Destination, Bloodlines can solve the mystery of the visions through first responders. This is the best chance to solve the franchise's biggest mystery. Alex, Claire and Carter looking scared on the ground from Final Destination. As mentioned above, Final Destination, Bloodlines following first responders and differing from the franchise's formula could mean that they are not the targets of Death's plan, and instead, they attend and investigate the mysterious deaths of those who are. Without the pressure and threat of being chased by Death, the first responders could investigate a lot deeper than the characters in the previous movies could, with the help of Bloodworth. This also allows Bloodlines more timeline freedom, as it can be set between movies, after the Final Destination, or before Final Destination 5.